Hey guys, and welcome back to another chapter of the 13-part series, Melting, written and narrated by Stacey Holt. Once again, let me shout out the artwork in the thumbnail and video by Kicksledge for allowing me to use their artwork. I'll leave a link to her artwork as well as the music in the video in the description box below. If you would like to support the series, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Chapter 6 Jealousy. The air was tense, and the warmth that wrapped around his arms felt like a harmful comfort. His throat felt tight, his mind racing, unable to think of how to start. His breath was short, and he seemed to be holding it as he stared down at his feet that were hanging off of the chase. "Kat, about last night. I was thinking about what you had said," she started, seeing him struggle with how to proceed. Yeah. I know you're struggling with how to phrase it so you don't give away too much information to a civilian, but I understand. Crushes are hard. I struggle every day with my own. You asked me if I liked anyone. I do, though he doesn't know it. She sighed, letting go of his arm and sitting beside him, looking down at her feet as he was. I don't want anyone to know. I want him to know when I get the courage to do it myself. Do you like anyone? She turned to look at him, both already knowing his answer. Yeah, I do, he said bluntly. Is it Ladybug? She asked, a little cautious. I wish she liked me the way I do her. With or without the mask, I really would, but I don't think she believes me. I don't think it's believing. Don't you have to give up your Miraculous if your identities were revealed? Kat sat for a moment and then nodded slowly, sighing as he stood up. Marinette, dinner is ready, they heard Tom yell from below. Marinette stood up and felt a tug at her wrist. She looked down and saw Kat looking at her. Aren't you hungry? I think I should go, Kat said, standing up and walking over to the ladder, letting her wrist go. Kat, we made a deal! Marinette ran to him. Sorry, Princess. My real-life duties call. I forgot I had some plans this evening, Kat said, climbing up the ladder to escape. Just as his hair hit the outside air, he felt a tug at his waist. He looked down at a girl who was staring at her feet, her hair in her eyes, holding his tail with all her might. Kat, you promised, Marinette choked out. He felt a tug not only at his waist, but now at his heart as he saw a tear slide down her cheek. Guilt became overwhelming, and he took a deep breath and climbed down. He stood in front of her and used his hand to raise her head up to meet his. Instead of smiling, he just stood with a frown, then felt a burst of warmth surround him. He looked down at her, her arms wrapped around him, holding him tightly. He hugged her back and smiled as he rested his head on hers as she cried into him. He knew she wasn't crying because he was going to leave. Something else was bothering her, but she kept it inside. Are you all right, Princess? Kat said softly. He heard her muffle a few words before pulling away. I'm fine, she said, wiping her red watery eyes. You don't have to lie to me. What's wrong? Kat said comfortingly. Before any other words could come out, Tom stuck his head up from the latch and saw Marinette too close for his liking, and crying. Cat Noir, what did you do? Tom yelled. Cat Noir realized what it looked like, and he proceeded to back away, waving his arms in disagreement. Papa, I was venting, Marinette chuckled. He was comforting me. As Tom heard her words, Cat Noir could see the anger in Tom's face fade away. Well, good. In that case, come on, boy. We're having pasta for dinner, and for dessert, Marinette made homemade chocolate eclairs, Tom said, pushing both Marinette and Cat Noir down the stairs toward the dinner table. Cat Noir smiled as he saw Marinette laughing with her family over dinner, almost wishing it were his family as well. It was almost jealousy that was burning deep down. Not only was she Paris's main superhero that got all of the attention and fame, but she had a loving family who cared for her dearly, as well as had friends that would do anything for her. He didn't want to be jealous, but he had never had anything close to that. Would you like one? Marinette offered him an eclair on a plate. Thanks, he said, taking one and taking a bite. The rich flavors ran through his mouth, making his taste buds jump as it made his mouth water with every bite. Is it good? Marinette smiled, sitting back beside him. Yeah, it's delicious, thank you, Cat said, monotone. Cat Noir, how did you get inside anyways? Tom asked. I, He choked on his bite, hitting his chest to try and get rid of the cough. Papa, Marinette butted in. I used the balcony? Cat smiled nervously. He saw Tom sigh and shake his head in disapproval. Come in from the real door, son. You are welcome any time. We just don't want you to use windows or latches and such. Tom smiled, and Sabine and Marinette nodded as well, causing Cat to smile. The night progressed, and not much was said except the laughing between Cat and Marinette, as they would get distracted by the TV in between designing. Marinette fell asleep on the chase, and Cat looked at the time. It was around midnight, but it was a Friday night, so it was all right for them to stay up so late. Cat stood up and stretched, putting all of their belongings in their rightful places. He scooped Marinette up in his arms and jumped up to her bed, placing her in it with the blankets covering her up in the process. Where's Tiki? He hadn't seen her at all day. Tiki? He whispered. He saw a little red being fly towards him from the inside of a purse that sat on the chair. So you do know, Tiki said, crossing her arms. Thank you all for watching. The next chapter will be available soon. If you'd like to stay up to date on when the next chapter will be uploaded, go ahead and hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Bye!